Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about how I created this sentiment with the forward border around it. Now this is using the absolutely brand new Couture Creations Modern Essentials cut foil and embossed dies, and these are something really brand new and different to what they've done before. Let me show you. So I've got two of the sets here. So these are the bracketed rectangle, and this is the treasured frame set. So I'm going to be using the bracketed rectangle. Now these are not like the Nouveau cut foil and embossed dies. You don't use the conversion plate with them. You use a thin metal shim, the sort you'd use with your die cutting machine if you were cutting an intricate die to get extra pressure or to cut fabric. So they're slightly thicker than a normal die, but only very slightly. So as I say, they are brand new. My die cutting machine is quite tight, so I've worked out what works on my die cutting machine, and what works for these, as they're open frames, is actually different for these, but I'll come to these in another video. This one's about this set. So okay, so what I'm going to be making is this. Okay, so I did this in a nice copper foil, and I was planning on using that for the video, but then I've run out of it, so instead I'm going to be using the Phantom Purple. Okay, so I've got my happy birthday sentiment warming up on the Go Press already, so because I'm going to foil that first. So I'm going to take a piece of card and I'm going to cut some foil. And I'm going to tape that piece of foil onto my card, and it's a bit oversized, and that's so that I don't have to. I've got some margin for error when I guess where things are. Let's get some more tape. I use a low tack professional decorators masking tape. It's frog tape for delicate surfaces. We do a similar professional decorators product. And it's very good. It doesn't leave sticky on the card or damage the surface of the card when you lift it away. So that's my foil. So on my Go Press, I've got my happy birthday. So I just need to kind of guesstimate. So it's going to be about that distance there, about that up from there. Yeah. And then the foil's in the middle of my card, so as long as that's kind of in the middle there, down to there, that should be in about the right place. Yep, I need one card shim when I'm foiling for my die cutting machine. So I'll close the lid, just make sure that's at temperature. It should be fine because the foiling plate was already getting nice and warm. So let me grab my die cutting machine, and I'll need to tilt the camera up slightly. Okay, so I've got the die cutting machine. Grab the Go Press. I'm just going to wind that through. Feel a slight change in pressure as I go over the top of the foil plate, but it's still very easy to turn the handle. Yeah, I'm not having to force that at all. It's got a very light grip, but I can feel the change when it hits the foiling plate. So here we are. So there we are. Happy birthday, and you can see the impression in the foil, and you can, if you want to, lift a corner and check, but leave the foil tape down. Okay, and that's going to let me see where I need to position the cut foil and embossed die for the next bit. So I'm going to take this off. Buried my heatproof mat, there we are. And then I'm going to take thin metal shim. Okay, it's not the conversion plate, it's a thin metal shim. Okay, the conversion plate is much thicker. I've got mine here somewhere. There. Alright, let me show you the difference in thickness. So this is the conversion plate and it's quite heavy. So this one's the conversion plate and that's really thick. And this is a thin die cutting shim. So you can see this one I'm using is much thinner. Okay, if you try and use this, if it does go through your die cutting machine, you may well break something. So if you feel lots of resistance when you're using these, just stop and think whether or not you're using the right metal plate. So this is the sort of thing they sell for mixed media dies, for example, to protect your cutting plates. It's just a thin metal shim. So that goes on there, and the die and the Go Press goes back on the base to warm up. If you're new to using a Go Press, start with just doing foiling of hot foil stamps like this, normal ones, until you get used to using your machine. So somewhere I have the plate I'm going to use. Where's it gone? Bear with me. It was on the magnetic sheet. I just couldn't see it because it's black. Okay, so this goes cutting edge down onto. I'm just going to change the angle of this camera slightly and the lighting. Just try and give you some better lighting on this. No, you're not going to see it there. Okay, so basically I'm going to position this around the foiling and tape it in place. So let me do it and then show you what I've done. So it's cutting side down, and this has both a cutting edge and a foiling ridge. I'm just going to turn it the right way up so I can see what I'm doing. This isn't very sticky. So that's where I've chosen to put it. So you can see I needed the extra foil to give me a bit of wiggle room, so that when I put this on I can actually get it nicely centred around the die. Okay, so while I've been doing that, the metal shim has been warming up on the Go Press. So now I'm going to put this into the Go Press. And it goes that way up so that the metal is against the metal shim. And I close the lid. I'm just going to put it back on the base to make sure it stays nice and warm while I get the die cutting machine. Okay, my red light's flashing. I'm just going to move the camera up a bit. Again, I want you to see how much resistance I've got in the handle. Right, green light's on. So I'm going to grab the Go Press and wind slowly. So again, I can feel some resistance, but it's not hard to turn the handle. Just go forwards and backwards. And we are. Put the camera down. Right. So there, so be careful at this point because his metal plate is quite warm. You may well want to use that to pick that up. The metal plate I'm using is not steel, it doesn't get picked up by the magnet. Yours might be, so proceed with caution. Okay, so there we are, and you can see on the back that it's cut. So I'm just going to go pop, and it peeled the foil for me. So there we are. And when I made the card, I filled it in the blue-green iridescent, but I think the purple would work just as well. Yeah. Oh, there's a silver. You could do a silver. It's a case of, you know, what you have and what you like to use. Okay. So there we have it. These are the Modern Essentials. Oh, this cools down quite quickly. Modern Essentials cut foil and embossed dies. They are, at this point in time, brand new from Couture Creations. And it's a layering die set. So this size I found great for the Couture Creations sentiments. Now, if I was going up to the bigger sizes, I probably wouldn't do one whole piece of foil with something in the middle. There'd be a bigger chance of getting overfoil and coming around your sentiment. So there I'd probably do them separately and just lay strips of foil on my card where this is going to go. So that would avoid overfoiling. So, but that's a demonstration for another day. So I hope you've found this one helpful, and I'm certainly looking forward to using these more. Thank you for watching.